Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Michael, KE4EST. Today I'm going to restore a Heathkit model IM-102. Now the story behind this is I did one of the other videos recently where I restored my friend Charlie's portable for back then, Nixie tube, volt-ohm meter. And I got thinking about it. I've always liked Nixie tubes. I think a lot of people do, but kind of fell in love with them again. I'm like, it'd be kind of neat to have a digital. I've got other meters, I use for things, especially if I'm doing something that's really serious and I need to make sure everything's, dead on or close to dead on or whatever. But, when you're doing hobbyist stuff or you're doing stuff like this on the bench, most of the time, you don't have to be 4 decimal places or 5 decimal places, out and all that. A 3.5 digit handheld meter is going to work most of the time as long as it's pretty close. You don't have to be super perfect. Am I getting 12 volts or 0 or whatever? You know what I mean. So I was like, kind of like to have, a bench version of that. And I've got some stuff out, in the shed. But I don't think I've got one of those. You know how you're laying in bed at night and you're just thinking. And it hit me. It's like, I think I've got one of those. I don't think it's Heathkit, but I've got a bench, model Nixie tube, voltmeter. So the next day I go out there, digging around, and look what I found. Now, I don't remember if it's coming with that story I've told where that guy had all that stuff, or he pulls up at this little dinky hamfest. There's supposed to be a hamfest, but it's more like a little swap shop type thing that we drove forever to get to, and it turned out to be a bus mostly. But I don't know. I can't remember where I got this at. Some of the stuff I've had. Some of the stuff I can look at and tell you exactly where I got it, what day it was, who I went with, the hamfest, or wherever it was, or whatever. And some stuff I'm like, this one I can't remember. But a little scuff there. Maybe I'll buff out of that. But it was Heathkit. It's a Heathkit IM-102. Now all I've done to it is took the bottom cover off because I can't find a cord. One of these right here. If you do Heathkit stuff, if you collect Heathkit stuff, you probably got one of these. If not, you've seen these. You know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna be careful, don't stick your fingers on that because I've got this. What I've done was I just took and tack sort of wire in. Not just tack. It's solid, but just a cord in there just to fire this thing up. And keep trying to leave the top cover on it. It's wanting to fall off, because what you do with these is you let me just do the camera like this and bring it down. Okay. What you do with these, you loosen these screws up here, and these covers just come out. 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. So just like that. And it's not bad, it's clean inside. So let's look and see what we got here. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah, I guess that'll work. It may look like I'm not getting everything, but the edge, let me show you here. See there? See, that's the edge. So, and the other edge is down here, right here. So I've pretty much got everything in the shot right there. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit. And you can see over here we got your Nixie tubes, and these are in sockets. They come out. This is all in sockets. See that, every one of these chips. So, and like the other one, this is pretty much a digital multimeter, all digital. It's just got these Nixie tubes, you know, for display, but they're not really a tube like a triode or tetrode, pentode, whatever. You know, they're not doing any work. They're just there for display the numbers and the digits. And just like the other one, you can see that. Let me zoom in on it. You got 3 digits here, and then you got 1 here for a ones place. So this is 3.5 digit. We got 1 here, and then 3 digits that'll go up to like 1.999, and then if you go 2 volts, you can get it over. So you have to go up to the next range. So what I was talking about was, and I said, oh, I see that. It's got one of these temples in it. Them temple capacitors. Everything's in sockets. Even the transistors are in sockets, and some of these are not transistors. Let me see if we can get that. We can see some of these, you know, will be like, you know, just ICs, but they're in like an 8-pin or 6-pin package with the kind of like this, so you know, dissipate heat. So power supply's over here. You can tell the power supply section, your diodes, and everything comes around. Here's all your logic. These here would be display driver chips. There's your display. So just looking at it, this capacitor will have to go. Definitely that temple's got to go, and we got a little 10 microfarad here that'll have to go. The rest of them are disc capacitors or some kind of poly or whatever. That should be fine. We'll find out. You see it's got the older diodes, bullet-shaped diodes in it, popular in the 70s. These resistors, it's probably hard to see. Let me zoom in a little bit here. See these resistors. These are not full-blown roundies, but I call them roundies. Bradley style or ohmite resistors. Oh, genuine, whatever. And again, I got it that way one time. I got some off of eBay. And I looked at all the pictures really close, and I had some close-up pictures, and they looked, I said, okay, that's, you know, new old stock Allen Bradley style. When I got them in, they were like this. And I don't have them, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's really hard to see, maybe you can see that, but they kind of round off just a hair, not as bad as like the old roundies, but they still round off, and you can see a seam. I don't know if you can see that. If I can zoom in too much more without it going blurry. Be careful here. But it's got a seam in it. You see that? Yeah, you can see that. So you can see that seam across there, so you're like, This definitely ain't full blown out, you know, this ain't Allen Bradley. Of course, we got our some precision resistors here and here. Most of the time, except for, you know, that one I did a few videos back, I actually had one, you know, that was bad. There is a couple Allen Bradleys in here, but most of them are not. So we'll have to we'll fire it up and see what it does. And then under here, we got this little circuit board here. At least this here's all nice and soldered in. It's a separate board. You can see it's loose. But it's got several places it's soldered in, so it'd have to be soldered to get this to slide out. Of course, it's also got the gain switch going through it here. And then we got the typical 3 fuses on a lot of times you don't see this. You'll see 2 fuses. You have a line fuse and you have a fuse for the amps or milliamps, and that's all. But I liked about these, they put a fuse. One of these fuses will be for the ohms. So when you put it over to read, you know, resistance, you have a fuse in there, because, you know, these didn't have any kind of automatic circuitry inside, or wasn't really high impedance on the when you do that. So it's real easy to forget and have it stuck over on the, you know, say you have it on 2K ohms instead of wanting 2 volts or something, and you, well, probably higher than that, but of course it wouldn't take much on some of these circuits. But you have the wrong thing set up, and you meant to measure voltage. You're on the, like over here, you'll have it over here somewhere, 200K, but what you really need was 200 volts. And if it's over here and you throw some voltage across that, you're going to pop that fuse, hopefully, and that's all you do. So, yeah, we got a, that's obviously the line fuse there. And then this one on the bottom, that would be for your ohms, and this one on the top. Now you can't see everything I'm doing here. Trace that wire. Okay, and yeah, it's going, that wire is going right up to this jack here on the front, milliamps. So that's definitely for amps, measuring current. So what I'm going to do, put the slot back over here. Maybe I'll put the cover back on. Drop that just loosely. Yeah, there we go. Darken that out. I'm going to, kind of hesitant to do it with the temple in there, but plug this thing in, and we're going to turn it on and see what happens. Well, something's working. Alright, let's see. Let's try to use it here. Let's make sure. Uh-oh. You see that? It's at 5 and 6 7s lighting up at the same time. Well, we got to work on that first. That gives us something to troubleshoot. Okay, well, let me just go ahead and see what I've got here. Got a AAA battery here. It's just 2 volts. Yeah, I think this thing needs to be 0. Oh, looky here, we got, it's trying to go to 4, but we're getting like a 2-3 thing going on there. Let's see if it does anything anyway. Alright, put this down on volts. Oh, not bad. This is a fresh battery. 1.6 volts. That's a little dot there lighting up. I don't know how good you can see that. Right there is, that's the little decimal. Let me short these together and zero that back out. That's not bad. That's pretty close. Not bad at all. Who knows how long this thing's set before I got it, and I would say a long time when I got it. So, okay, that ain't bad. Let's go zero out. Now let's try. Okay, wait a minute. No, this one's ohms is already ohms over here. Okay, we'll go something like 2K. Sure, I don't want to. It ain't wanting a 0. And if I put the leads together, it's 0. Well, no. I think it's just some noise. Let me see here. Where am I at? Oh. Okay. No, that ain't right. That ain't right. That's a 1K precision resistor there, and that ain't, something ain't right there. I bet that fuse is blowed back there. It's just too all over the place. Alright, so well, the first thing we need to do is shut it off. unplug it. Let's see what's going on with that tube. So, here's my thoughts on this. It could be, you know, tube pin's not in right or something that we just plug in here. And it could be the Nixie tube. You know, it is possible. But I've seen this before, and I'll guarantee you it's this chip right here. If this is wired like most things, usually this chip goes here, this chip here, and this chip drives this one. And you can see they've been changed out before. This is not original. This is original. Let's see that 443. Well, my glasses back on. Yeah, 443-92. It's Motorola chip, but that 443-92, that's a Heathkit part number. And this up here, 90, I'm looking at it upside down, 960. So, that's already been replaced once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out. These, you don't really need to use a chip puller, and if you get your fingers in there, just wiggle them back and forth, because I'll show you. See how it's got these individual header pin things in here. It don't have, like, you know, these newer, you don't have the newer chip sockets. So it's really easy to get a hold of and pull out. And you say, well, what if it's the chip, what if it wasn't making good contact? Well, if it wasn't making good contact, we'd be completely missing a digit. It would, when it said 7, and when it tried to go to 6, and it was showing that 6-5 thing, or what was it? It was 8 dropping down to 7, 6 was showing at the same time. It would just skip a digit, be blank. If one of these, pins wasn't making good connection or something. And you can see they're gold. Of course, these ain't gold, so these could get corrosion on them in here. But hang on just a minute and I'll be back. I think I've got some of these right here that I've bought before. Okay, I'm back here. So you can see that, get that in the light just right. 996079. This is the same one, and what that is a decoder and driver chip for these Nixies. They don't make anymore. Whoop. Back this back out. They don't make these anymore. Sometimes you can find these new old stock, or you can get these new old stock. And if you want to look one of these up, you'd look up a 996079 decoder chip. And if you look around, eBay will have them sometimes, and a couple other places if you do some searching. Some of the places that sells vintage stuff, or old parts or whatever. But that's the thing about these. Sometimes with these chips, a lot of times this tube gear, it's just easier to find the tubes. I mean, there's some, rare tubes out there, but a lot of common, if this was made out and designed built with tubes, it would, most likely have really common tubes. That'd be thousands of them out there, and there'd be plenty, still thousands of them are, people trying to get rid of on eBay or swap shops or whatever. And even some of them they make new, a few still made new. If it's something like a 12X7 or whatever. But they used, whatever at the time was the thing, and a lot of these get discontinued, and so it's hard to find. But let's take this one. See, it's got even kind of looks like that. It's the same. You can tell it's the same vintage. If you take a modern chip, it's got, here's a chip laying here. Here's a modern chip. You know, this is an Atmel 328 microprocessor. Like it goes in those little Arduino Unos. You see the difference in the way it looks and the way it's made. You know, look at the end of it. You know, it's just, this is definitely new old stock here. Let's get it turned around the right way. Let's see if I can put that in here. But be careful, don't miss any of the legs. But you can swap these out. Like if you didn't have one, you can take and swap these chips around. If you swap the chip around and that problem follows to the next tube, then you know definitely the chip. Or, you know, a lot of times if it's kind of acting goofy, but maybe not like, you know, the problem I had here. Move them in and out, you know, reseat the chips, put a little contact cleaner on them, things like that. And if you want to, you know, reassure yourself, you can take these tubes, they're in sockets. Let's wiggle it a little bit here. See that? We'll see one of these out, pulled out. Either in little sockets, don't lose your little spacer here. And they're kind of hard to get lined back up, so take your time. Make sure you got it just right. Yeah. They can get aggravating. I almost didn't want to pull this out and show you. That's how I was like, I want to pull it out. Okay. I'm gonna get crooked. And, okay. So let's see what happens now. Turn this around. We got light back. I don't know which one's better. Let's just throw the top back on it. Lay it on there, knock that light out. Alright, let's plug it in. Okay. I don't see it yet, but alright, let's where we at here? 1000 volts. Let's go up to 20 volts. 1.79. That's off a little bit, ain't it? Because this is going to say 1.6. Yeah. See how that's counted back? So watch that count down. This is counting voltage, the way the circuit's designed. You take it off, it's going to count back down. Eventually, it'll try to follow zero, but it won't get all the way to zero. It'll have noise, you know. And you see this on modern meters. You have a Agilent or a Keysight or HP or some kind, you know, $1,000 meter. They'll sit here and do this, you know, when you get it down, especially if you go down to microvolts. You know, sometimes they're just sitting there, just all over the place. You know, they're hunting for a voltage. So that took care of it. But like I said, if you've not done this before and didn't know for sure, swap them out. Swap out the chips. You know, take the chips and swap them around. Those three are the same chip. See if it, because it would have followed up to this one here. You can swap your tubes around. Things like that. So let's see if we put this. I do notice one thing. There should be a plus sign on this one too. This one's automatic. So if I take and flip this around, see, we should have a plus on that side. Get it lined up. I don't know, you probably can't see that. That is a negative. Right there. Move the light out more. Yeah, you can see that. Let me flip it the other way and get rid of it. See that minus go away. 1.601 volts. Now let's flip it around. See the minus lit up 1.60. Well, that ain't bad. I don't know how close it is exactly, but I know it's pretty close to 1.6 volts. What this battery should read. And now I'm moving it all over the place here over here, but it's not very bright that lit up, but the positive ain't lighting up. Let's see if over works. Be careful here. Yep. If you can see, yeah, you can see that. See how that over. It's not very bright on this side. Maybe need to change the bulb out or move this bulb closer to this, but See the over lit up, so that works. So we only got, looks like we got the plus is out, and we got that fixed. So anyway, I'll end this first part of the video about right here. Let me unplug this thing. I'll go in and see if I can get these capacitors changed out, and yeah, that over, yeah, I don't know, it's pretty close. I got this thing far in. It's just not very bright, I guess. I can change out a resistor. So one of these looks like the same as in that other meter. So change these out so that, fix this one so the plus works. I'll change out all these caps, these 3 caps here. And then I'll show you what I've done and I get that done, and we'll line it up, go through the alignment procedure. And I don't have a manual on this, and I found online was this, which you see here's the front, and then it skips to page 45. So, but it does have shows what to do to go over and zero it out, go through the different sections and make sure it's correct. Alright, so anyway, I'll get that done. That stuff changed out. Then I'll come back in part 2 of this series on this one, and we'll do the alignment, go through all that, and do some checks with it with some voltage sources and precision resistors, and see how good it is. See if it's good enough to put on the bench. As long as it's pretty close, it ain't got to be to a thousandth of a volt. As long as it's to a tenth of a volt accurate, most of 99% of the time, that's all you need, right? So I may take it and put it on the bench over here somewhere, or something. At least right in this area so that you guys can see. Now, I've got stuff over here and stuff on the other side, and I got stuff up higher up. I've got, more expensive meters and more, things I use or whatever. But for this part of it, maybe I'll stick that over here somewhere. And still got to keep my analog. We use that way too much, but maybe stick that somewhere in there. I don't know. But anyway, until the next video, this is Michael, KE4EST 73.